You are thinking about buying a Volkswagen, but here's the brutal truth. Some Volkswagens will quietly drain your bank account with repair bills that dwarf what you paid for the car, while others will run for hundreds of thousands of miles and barely ask for more than oil and tires. The badge on the bonnet is the same. What sits underneath it is anything but. Today we count down the 3 worst Volkswagen models to own, the ones that turn a sensible-looking purchase into a financial nightmare, and the 4 best, the ones that genuinely live up to the brand's reputation for solid, honest engineering. This is ranked not on badge loyalty but on owner reports, repair records, and real-world reliability. Whether you are about to sign for one or trying to keep the one already on your drive alive, knowing exactly which Volkswagen you are looking at can be the difference between a loyal companion and a money pit. Get this choice right, and Volkswagen ownership is one of the smartest moves in motoring. Get it wrong, and it is one of the most expensive. We start with the ones to think very hard about. Let us count them down. Worst number 3. The first-generation Tiguan from 2009 to 2017. On paper, this was the Volkswagen you wanted. A premium-feeling compact SUV with a punchy turbocharged engine and the build quality to shame its rivals. And it sold in enormous numbers, which is exactly why it catches so many buyers out. The trouble lives inside that early turbocharged 4-cylinder, because the timing chain on these engines is tensioned by a part that has a reputation for failing, and when that tensioner lets go, the chain can jump. The pistons meet the valves, and a compact family SUV becomes a 5-figure engine rebuild on a car worth a fraction of that. The warning sign is a rattle from the front of the engine on a cold start that fades as the oil pressure builds, and ignoring it is how a cheap fix becomes a catastrophic one. On top of that, the direct injection engine bakes carbon onto its intake valves over time, choking airflow and roughening the idle until a costly walnut shell clean is needed, and many of these engines are known to drink oil between services, so the level needs watching like a hawk. None of it is unsurvivable, but it demands a careful buyer. You look for a later example with the updated tensioner, you demand evidence the chain and water pump have been cared for, you budget for a carbon clean, and you treat any cold start rattle as an emergency rather than a quirk. The most affected cars use the earlier versions of that 2-liter turbo built before around 2014, after which Volkswagen revised the tensioner and the worst of the trouble eased, so the build date matters enormously. The water pump uses a plastic housing and impeller that grows brittle and leaks. The turbo's diverter valve is a known weak point, and the oil consumption on some examples comes from the piston ring design rather than a simple leak, which means the only defense is checking the dipstick religiously between services. A pre-purchase inspection by someone who actually knows these engines is worth every penny, because the gap between a sorted later car and a neglected early one can be the entire value of the vehicle. Bought blind on price, the first-generation Tiguan will find the bottom of your wallet. Worst number 2. The first-generation Touareg from 2003 to 2010. This was Volkswagen at its most audacious, a luxury off-roader that shared its bones with the Porsche Cayenne and the Audi Q7, could tow well over 3 tons, and was offered with everything up to a colossal and now legendary V10 diesel. When new and under warranty, it was magnificent. As an aging used car, it is one of the most effective ways to lose money the company has ever built. The air suspension sags, leaks, and eventually kills its own compressor. The electronics develop gremlins that take a specialist to chase, and the cooling and ancillary parts are expensive and labor-intensive to reach on such a tightly packed engine bay. The V10 diesel, thrilling as it is a specialist-only proposition whose repair bills can be terrifying. The kind of engine you admire in someone else's driveway. Layer on the fuel, tires, and brakes of a 2.5-ton luxury SUV, and the running costs alone frighten away sensible buyers, which is why values have collapsed and these now look temptingly cheap. That low price is the bait in the trap. Built on the same heavy, complex platform as the first Cayenne and the original Q7, it inherited their appetite for expensive parts, so the air suspension struts can run several hundred to over $1,000 a corner, the compressor adds plenty more, and the propeller shaft center bearing and the notorious electronic parking brake module are both known to fail with 4-figure consequences. Every system that makes the Touareg feel special when new becomes a liability once the warranty is a distant memory, and because a general garage is quickly lost among its complexity, you are tied to specialists whose hourly rates match the badge's ambitions. A well-kept later V6 with a full history and a serious repair fund behind it can be enjoyed, but the typical neglected example, and certainly the V10, is a money pit waiting to land its bills all at once. Worst number 1. The Phaeton, built from 2002 to 2016 and sold briefly in America from 2004 to 2006. Here is the most ambitious car Volkswagen has ever built, and the worst one you can possibly buy used. The Phaeton was conceived to humble the Mercedes S-Class, a hand-finished luxury flagship assembled in a glass-walled, transparent factory. With a smooth W12 engine, 4-zone draft-free climate control, air suspension, and a list of engineering features longer than its already vast options sheet. It was a genuine engineering triumph and a commercial disaster because no one wanted to pay S-Class money for a car wearing a Volkswagen badge. Under the skin, it shared a great deal with the Bentley Continental and the Audi A8, and its engine range ran from a smooth 6-cylinder through a thunderous V8 to that flagship 12-cylinder, with even a colossal V10 diesel in some markets, every one of them expensive to service and surrounded by systems of bewildering complexity. That failure is precisely what makes it so dangerous today, because a car that costs 6 figures new now sells for the price of a used hatchback, and buyers are seduced by all that luxury for so little money. Then the bills arrive. The air suspension fails, the dozens of climate actuators stick, the labyrinth of electronics throws faults that defeat ordinary garages, and the W12 drinks fuel and demands specialist servicing, while parts are scarce and expensive, especially in markets where the car barely sold. A single major repair can exceed the entire value of the car, and they rarely come one at a time. The Phaeton is sublime to drive and a marvel to behold, but as a used purchase, it is the definitive money pit, magnificent to admire and ruinous to own. The famous draft-free climate control alone hides a small army of motors and flaps that stick and fail. The air suspension settles onto its stops when the compressor tires, and the electronics are woven together so tightly that a single failure can cascade into several. Buyers see a hand-built luxury limousine for hatchback money and cannot resist, then discover that one round of repairs can cost more than they paid, and that the parts to fix it can be slow and ruinously expensive to find, especially where the car barely sold. So unless you have a full history, a tolerant specialist, and deep pockets, you admire this one from a very safe distance. That is the side of the Volkswagen showroom to approach with real caution. Now for the good news, the Volkswagens that genuinely earn their keep and reward you with years of dependable service. Best number 4, the Polo, in its modern generations from 2009 onward. Here's the quiet genius of the Volkswagen range, the sensible supermini that does almost everything a Golf does for noticeably less money. The smaller modern Polo is built around the company's well-proven small engines, the efficient 3- and 4-cylinder units that are far less stressed than the bigger performance turbos, and the result is a car that feels like it was hewn from something more expensive yet costs very little to buy, run, and insure. It rides and refines like a class above, shrugs off big mileages, and avoids the catastrophic failure modes that haunt the worst of this list entirely. It is not exciting, and that is exactly the point, because what it offers instead is honesty and dependability in a package most families could genuinely live with as their only car. Keep the oil fresh, give the direct injection intake an occasional clean, and have the automatic gearbox's fluid serviced if it has one, and the Polo simply gets on with the job year after year. Across its recent generations, it has consistently earned strong safety scores and a reputation for feeling a full class above its price, with doors that thunk shut like a far costlier car and a cabin that wears its miles better than most rivals. The engines reward the same simple care as any modern unit, regular oil and a watchful eye on the cooling system, and the only real caution is the early dry clutch automatic, which lives a far longer life if its fluid is actually serviced rather than left alone as the brochure once implied. Choose a manual or a well-maintained automatic, keep on top of the basics, and the running costs stay genuinely low, which is the whole appeal. For a buyer who wants a modern Volkswagen without a knot in their stomach every time it makes a noise, the Polo is one of the smartest small cars money can buy. If you enjoy this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Best number 3, the 7th generation GTI from 2015 to 2021. If the worst of this list is about fear, the GTI is about joy without the punishment, the rare hot hatch you can genuinely use every single day. This generation is the sweet spot, because it runs the much-improved version of Volkswagen's 2-liter Turbo 4, the one that finally put the early timing chain tensioner dramas to bed, and it wraps that willing engine in a chassis that is composed, quick, and endlessly satisfying without ever being highly strung. It will carry a family and their luggage in the week and entertain you on an empty road at the weekend, all while returning sensible fuel economy and wearing an interior built to a standard rivals still struggle to match. It is not maintenance-free because it is still a modern turbocharged direct injection car, so you service the dual-clutch gearbox fluid on time. You have the intake decarbonized when it is due, you change the oil sooner than the book suggests, and you keep an eye on the water pump. With around 220 horsepower in standard form and a little more in the performance versions that add a clever limited-slip differential and bigger brakes, it is quick enough to thrill without ever feeling intimidating, while the optional dual-clutch gearbox fires off shifts faster than thought and the manual keeps the purists happy. Because this generation runs the third major iteration of that 2-liter turbo, the early chain tensioner nightmare that haunts older Volkswagens is largely behind it, which is a huge part of why it earns a place on the best list rather than the worst. The carbon buildup common to every direct injection engine still applies, so a periodic intake clean keeps it breathing freely, and the dual-clutch fluid service is simply non-negotiable. Do those simple things and the GTI rewards you with years of reliable fun, which is why it remains the enthusiast's sensible choice and one of the most complete cars Volkswagen has ever made. Best number 2, the Passat, in the generation sold from roughly 2012 to 2019. This is the unglamorous hero of the range, the roomy, comfortable family sedan that quietly nails its brief and then sells for a song because it is simply not fashionable. Depending on the market, you will find it with a proven and willing turbocharged engine, a famously tough, naturally aspirated 5-cylinder, or a torquey diesel, and in every case it offers vast rear seat space, a big boot, and the kind of long-distance comfort that makes motorway miles melt away. Because nobody brags about owning one, the used prices are gentle, which hands you an enormous amount of dependable, well-built car for the money. The maintenance story is the familiar modern Volkswagen one: fresh oil, a decarbonize in time on the direct injection engines, and a gearbox fluid service where it applies, none of which is a failure mode, simply the upkeep any sensible owner expects. In North America, the roomy version of this car became a backseat limousine beloved of families and rideshare drivers alike precisely because it was so spacious and so cheap to keep running, while European buyers got a sharper, more upmarket take on the same sensible recipe. The naturally aspirated 5-cylinder offered in some markets is about as close to bulletproof as a modern engine gets, with no turbo to wear out, and the turbocharged petrol and diesel options reward standard maintenance with strong economy and effortless cruising. The only real homework is on the diesels, whose emissions hardware needs regular long runs to stay healthy, alongside the usual fresh fluids across the board. For a family that needs space and refinement without drama or a punishing purchase price, the Passat of this era is one of the great value buys in the whole used market. Best number 1, the 7th generation Golf from 2015 to 2021. After everything sensible has been said, the best Volkswagen you can buy is also the most obvious one, the car that every rival in the class is still measured against. The 7th generation Golf is the benchmark, a car that does absolutely everything well and asks for remarkably little in return. It is refined where it needs to be, efficient with its small turbocharged engines, beautifully and solidly built inside, and just plain right in a way that very few cars ever manage. Equally at home on a city commute, a family holiday, or a long continental drive. Crucially, it offers all of that without any of the catastrophic failure modes that define the worst of this list, so the ownership experience is calm rather than nerve-wracking. It still wants the basics, the fresh oil, the dual-clutch fluid service, an eye on the water pump, and the occasional intake clean on the direct injection units, but these are maintenance items, not landmines. Buy a well-kept 7th generation Golf with a thick history folder, look after it properly, and it will quietly carry you and your family for decades. It arrived to a wall of awards, taking major Car of the Year honors on more than one continent, and it earned them by getting the fundamentals so completely right, from the precise controls to the hushed motorway manners to the small, efficient turbocharged engines that sip fuel while still feeling willing. Built on the company's flexible modern platform, it feels engineered rather than merely assembled, and that solidity is exactly what lets a well-kept example shrug off the years and the miles. There is no single catastrophic weakness lurking to ambush you, only the ordinary upkeep that any thoughtful owner provides as a matter of course, which is the highest praise a used car can earn. In hatchback, estate, or even hotter trim, the formula holds, and that breadth of choice means there is a 7th generation Golf to suit almost every life and budget. It is the definitive sensible Volkswagen, the one to own if you want everything the badge promises with none of the bills it can threaten, and a fitting car to crown this list. Let us quickly recap so you can shop with clear eyes. On the side to approach with real caution, the 1st generation Tiguan with its timing chain tensioner worry, The first-generation Touareg with its money pit complexity, and above all, the Phaeton, magnificent to drive and ruinous to own. And on the side to seek out, the sensible and underrated Polo, the joyous and usable GTI, the roomy and dependable Passat, and crowning them all, the benchmark 7th-generation Golf. 7 cars, 2 very different stories, and one simple lesson about which Volkswagens deserve your hard-earned money. One last thing that decides everything. Notice the pattern running through both lists, because the Volkswagens to fear are the complex, expensive ones bought cheaply and neglected, while the ones to seek out earn their place by being simple, proven, and properly cared for. Even the best of them only reaches its potential with a caring owner, which means oil changed early and often, the gearbox fluid serviced, and small noises investigated before they grow into enormous bills. Buy the model that comes with the thick history folder rather than just the cleanest paint. Look after it properly, and the right Volkswagen will reward you for many years and many miles. Let the history file and the model's reputation, not the showroom shine or a tempting price tag, decide what you are willing to sign for, and the very brand that builds both the best and the worst will only ever show you its best side. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.